Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I welcome all of you to our this session of Bhagavad Gita. As we all are aware, the objective of this class is to enable reading the shlok, to understand the meaning of the shlok, and to help understand the basic philosophy of Gita. We'll start with a summary of what we did in the last of this chapter, what exactly we have. We have completed the first three sections of this chapter, and now the lineage of transcendental knowledge with Parampara, the divine nature of Lord Krishna's appearance, and Krishna, the creator and culmination of all paths. And currently, today we'll be starting understanding karma on the platform of Gyan. This is what we are going to start now. And let's recap on what we read in the last class. So we started with shlok number 4.9 and 10, which talks about results of knowing about the appearance and activities of Krishna. That's what we read. So janma karm cha me divyam evam yo veti tatvata tyaktva deham punarjanma neti mameti sorjana. This is the 9th shlok, and it's a very, very important shlok. It says if someone understands the appearance and activities of Krishna, then after leaving this body, you will not take birth again. We will not take birth again. And then we talked about the 11th shlok, which is Krishna reciprocates with the worshipper's mood. Ye yatha mam prabhadyante tam sathayo vajamiham mam vartmano vartate manushya partha sarvasha. Krishna says that as you surrender, ye yatha mam prabhadyante, as you surrender, accordingly he will reward you. And everyone, directly or indirectly, is actually looking for Krishna. And then we talked about who the Devatas are and their relationship with Krishna. We explained about how the entire, it's more like a corporate world where we know each of the Devatas are responsible for one particular department. For example, Saraswati ji is for all knowledge. Similarly, Lakshmi ji is for wealth. Similarly, each of them are heads of different department, you can say, for our understanding, right? And then we read another very important shlok, which was shlok number 13. It talked about how Krishna has actually organized this material world. And he said, Chatur Varnyam Maya Shishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasha Tasya Kartanam Bimam Vidhyame Kartaram Abhyayam. He says that I have created the 4 Varnas, the Brahmins, the Kshatriya, the Vaishyas, and the Shudras, but I am much above that. Nothing affects me. Yeah. And also, none of the material modes of nature also, he is above that. So, Krishna's work does not affect him. And finally, the last shlok that we read was shlok number 15, which talked about liberated souls work by understanding Krishna. This is a very important shlok, and that's what it now will be going on. That Krishna said that in the last shlok, he said that you have to follow the path of the people who have already got liberated by following my advice. And what we should do, it's our duty is to follow in their footsteps. So we now today will start with shlok number 14, and this particular section is understanding karma on the platform of Gyan. And what is Gyan? We talked about that in the 2nd chapter. When you say Gyan, it is basically, by now we know that we are not this body, but we are soul. And we have also talked about how the soul travels from different body to body unless it gets liberated. We talked about that, right? So that is Gyan. On that platform, he's going to talk about karma. So please repeat after me. Kim karma kim karyeti karmeti.
Which one?
It's 16.
Okay,
16.
16.
Yeah. Kim karma kim akarmeti.
Kim karma kim akarmeti.
Kavyopya yatra mohita.
Kavyopya yatra mohita.
Tatte karma pravikshami.
Tatte karma pravikshami.
Yajgyatva mokshase shubhat.
Yajgyatva mokshase shubhat.
Kim karma kim akarmeti.
Kim karma kim akarmeti.
Kavyopya atra mohita.
Kavyopya atra mohita.
Tatte karma pravakshami.
Tatte karma pravikshami.
Yajgyatva mokshase shubhat.
Yajgyatva mokshase shubhat.
Prabhu.
Kim karma kim akarmeti.
Kim karma kim akarmeti.
Kavyopyatra mohitaha.
Kavyopyatra mohitaha.
Tatte karma pravakshami.
Tatte karma pravakshami.
Yajgyatva mokshase shubhat.
Yajgyatva mokshase shubhat. So Krishna says, Kim karma, kim akarmeti. What is karma? Karma is action and akarma is inaction. So what is karma? What is action? What is inaction? Kavyopyatra mohita. Even kavyo, even the most intelligent people, they are also gets bewildered. They also are not able to understand what are actions and what is inaction. Tatte karma pravikshami. So I am going to explain. Tatte karma pravikshami. I'm going to explain what action is, what karma is. Yes, gyatva moksha shubhat. And after knowing that, you can get liberated. You'll get liberated from this misfortune. So let's repeat the meaning. Even the intelligent are bewildered in determining what is action and what is inaction. Now I shall explain to you what action is, knowing which you shall be liberated from all misfortune. So in just what he's saying is, understanding action and its reaction is very, very difficult to understand. Even the most intelligent person is getting bewildered, can't understand that. So he himself, why he himself is going to explain? Because it is a very complex laws, right? So it is very complex law. So himself is going to explain. And if someone understands that, and he's saying, if you understand that to Arjun, that you will get liberated, you will get liberated. So now he is giving this knowledge to Arjun. Yeah. So now let us talk about karma and this thing. So I'll now start with the wheel of sansar. So what is this sansar, this material world? What do we know? That we take in this world is basically of birth and death, right? People take birth, they grow, they produce byproducts, they grow old, and then they die. Yeah. And then they die again to take birth in, again to take birth, right? And this is how, and when they take birth again, what happens? It is purely a different body based on their karmas. It's a totally different body. They don't even know what they did in the last. They have no remembrance of what happened in the last life. And they think that this life is the thing. There's nothing beyond it. This is the life from birth and death. This is what it is. Yeah, this is what. And this chakra keeps on continuing. This is the wheel of sansar, of the wheel of birth and death. Yeah, this is a cycle of sansar, right? Yeah. And so now as per Pad Puran, in this material world, there are 84 lakh species, living entity. There are 84 lakhs type of species. Now this species that we talk about is different than the biology species that we have learned for, right? This species in Vedas, this species defines that it is based on the gunas. What is good? We talked about 3 types of good: sattva, raja, and tamas. Goodness, passion, and ignorance, right? Now, based on the various permutation and combination, different combination of goodness, passion, and tamas and ignorance, there are different type of species. Now, a particular type of species will have this type of, a different combination will give rise to one type of species. So as per Pad Puran, there are 84 lakhs of species. Yeah. And what do these species includes? It includes aquatic, the living entity in the water, we are aquatic. On the land, including trees, even trees are living, including trees. Then we talk about insects, reptiles, right? Animals, 4-legged animals, human beings. And out of this 84 lakhs of species that we have, only 4 lakhs are human beings, human type. Only 4 lakhs. Yeah. And it is only in this human form of life that you can exit from this wheel of sansar. It is only in this human form of life. So whether you go to down or up, any side you go, you have to have a human birth to exit the wheel of sansar. Right? Yeah. So now
Devtas don't come under this.
Devtas also come under this. Devtas also come under this. So if someone has done, like if remember one thing, Indra is always worried that my chair will go. Remember all the stories, many stories that we read about Indra. When someone is doing a lot of yagya, he gets worried. Oh, my chair will go. Why? Because if someone is doing that yagya, it says when you do 100 Ashwamedh yagya, what will happen? You can occupy the position of Indra. So Indra also comes, the Devtas also comes into this category, this species.
Even with Ganesha and Hanuman.
No, they're different thing. We'll talk about that later. But actually, yeah, so they're different species that we have, right? Now, human beings has acquired speech. Now, human beings, if we acquire the what do you call it? The spiritual perfection. So human beings only can have the capability, have the developed consciousness to acquire spiritual knowledge. Only in the human form we are mature to get the spiritual knowledge. Yeah. And when we get the spiritual the real spiritual perfection, then we can actually go out of this sansar to Vaikuntha. Now what is Vaikuntha? It is Vaikuntha. Kuntha is miseries, and where is without miseries is Vaikuntha. Okay, so if you get the spiritual perfection, human beings that are spiritual, they can actually exit out. We have been listening to this Vedic mantra right from our school days. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya, Tamso Ma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityor Ma Amritagamaya, Om Shanti Shanti. Right? I think from childhood we have been listening in our school or at home and all, right? Asato Ma Sadgamaya. Asat is temporary. Asat is temporary. And Sat is permanent. Eternal. So this material world is temporary. This sansar is temporary. Yeah. Asat to Sat. So what should be our way of life? From Asat to move to Sat. Asat is this material world, which is Krishna defines in Gita in one of the shlokas. This is Dukhale Ashashvatam. Means this is Ale. What is Ale? Ale is Pustakale. It's a home. Like Pustakale is library, a home where we keep books. Dukhale is, this is an ale of sorrows, yeah, and mysteries. And Dukhale Ashashvatam. Shashvat means eternal. Ashashvatam means it is impermanent, right? So Asato Ma Sadgama means from Asat move to Sat, from temporary move to eternal. Tamso Ma Jyotirgam. Tam means darkness. Darkness means ignorance. Darkness stands for ignorance. Tamso Ma Jyotirgama. Jyotir means light. Light is where? Spiritual. So from darkness, from ignorance, move towards spiritual. Mrityor Ma Amritam Gam. Mrityor means from death, move to immortality. Yeah, from mortality move to immortality. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So here we can see from sansar, we are from this material world, we have to move out to the spiritual world. Right? From our knowledge, from ignorance, we are in this material world because of our ignorance. We are in this material world because of our ignorance, because we don't know, we are not aware, we don't even know. So when we are, because of ignorance, we have to move to the light. Yeah, to the spiritual. We should have the spiritual knowledge, and then from death to immortality. Right? Now, so we talked about the soul and the body, right? So I'll talk about the garment shop of material nature. Material nature is this Prakriti. Material nature is this Prakriti, this material world, right? So there is a garment shop. What is a garment shop? Now, when you want to buy clothes, what do? You go to a garment shop. So what is this work of the shirt that we are wearing? It is covering our body. Yeah. So what is this actually body covering? It is covering our soul. Inside we have soul, which is pure, which is supposed to be pure, which is a part of Krishna. But that soul is covered by this material body. So there's a garment shop for this. There's a garment shop for this body. Yeah. So basically what happened, that is where you can buy the dress for your soul. You can go to that garment shop of this Prakriti and buy the dress for your soul. So how does the living entity chooses the dress? It chooses the dress based on their desires. The type of desires they have, what they want, accordingly their activity will be. I want this, so I will behave like this. So it all comes from the desire of the soul. I want to have fun, so I will do accordingly. Yeah. I want to do this, so I'll do. So based on my desire, what will happen? I will actually do my activity, my karma, and based on that karma that we have performed, the material nature will give the dress to us. I'll get the body accordingly. So the karma that we perform, why it is very, very important to understand the laws of karma, because the karma that we perform is the price, is the money, is the price that the soul pays to purchase the body. Normally, when you go to a shop to buy a shirt, you will give money, right? But for the soul to take this body, what is the price it is giving? It is the karma. So the karma is very, very important. What sort of karma you do, accordingly, you can purchase that body. Yeah. So that is what it is, right? For example, if you are eating non-veg, if you are eating meat, so what will happen? Then you have, that's a desire, you want to eat non-veg, you want to eat meat. So you will have, next life, you will have a body which is more suitable for eating meat. Yeah, a tiger, an animal body, animalistic body, right? Yeah. And suppose you like to sleep a lot, then you will have a body which is of bear, because bear sleeps for 6 months. If you like to wear less clothes, you want to show your body a lot, then you'll become tree. And all these things are from our Puranas, with how it says. Yeah, you'll take up a body of the tree. You don't have to cover yourself. You just remain like that in all the nature, right? In this way, Prakriti gives us body based on the desires expressed as activities. Clear? Clear? Yeah. So now we come back to our shlok. Kim karma kim akarmeti kavyopyatra mohita tatte karma prakshyami yaj gyatva mokshate shubhat. Now, the laws of karma is such that whatever action I do, I will have a reaction. I will have an equal and opposite reaction. Even in the science, we have come out with this formula that whatever we do, every action has a equal and opposite reaction. So the laws of karma says, whatever action you are doing, there has to be a reactions to that. Yeah. And this reaction that will happen, you will have to bear that reaction. It only depends upon after what time. Based on your karma, based on your action, the reaction can be immediately or it can be delayed. It can be immediately or it can be delayed. Again, based on the time it takes to fructify. The reactions came to, just like, you grow a mango plant, mango seed. Now, mango, you don't ripe the mango immediately. It takes time to come get the mango. Similarly, when we are doing a action, we are growing a seed, and that seed is going to fructify, is going to have a fruit. That seed, that action is going to have a fruit. The only thing it depends upon how long the whole process takes. Something can happen today in this, something happen in this life, something can happen next life, right? Now, karmic reactions, why Krishna says that is very difficult to understand, because karmic reactions are not directly based on the activity, not directly, it's not equal to the activity you have performed. Yeah, it is very important sentence. It is not directly equivalent to the activity you have performed. It is the consciousness in which the activity has been done. Are you able to understand me? It is not that I have just done this, but in what consciousness I have done this matters. Yeah. Now I'll tell you tell about, let's relate it back to Bhagavad Gita. Arjun. We read in chapter number 1. Arjun refused to fight. And one of the reasons he gives that in the Kurukshetra war, he says, first chapter 1, he says, no, I am not going to fight because it's my son, it is my father, it is my grandfather, it's my father. Everyone is standing here, right? And if I kill them, what will happen? I will accrue sin. I will get sin. So this is how all of us think. This is how anyone will think. If I kill this, I'm going to get sin. And that is what Arjun is representing all of us, our thoughts, right? So so he says, if I kill them, I'm going to get sin. And what Krishna did? Krishna later spoke, once Arjun surrendered, spoke Bhagavad Gita. And what Arjun did in the end? Arjun actually fought. So Krishna reminded him that you are a Kshatriya. You are a Kshatriya. Your dharma is to fight. Your prescribed duty is to fight. So you have to do your prescribed duty. And you have to save your dharma. That is your prescribed duty. And not only that, it is Krishna is instructing Arjun to do it. So two things, or what Arjun thought is a sin, the activity is a sin, actually is a divine activity, because he is doing his prescribed duty under the direction of Krishna. So it becomes from a sinful, which one thought, it became a divine. So Krishna says, I myself am going to explain you what action is and how the results are, right? So now let us, there's another story I want to talk about, is a Kaushik Brahmin, just to understand about the complication of the decision of the, what do you call it, karma. So once there was a Brahmin, he was taking bath. After taking bath in the river, he was walking towards his hut, towards his hermitage. And then he saw a cow running very, very fast. It came and it entered in the hermitage, and he couldn't see. And he kept on walking. Fine, a cow has entered my hermitage. He continued walking, and then he saw behind there was a butcher who was running and coming. And now when he came, he had a cutter in his hand. And once he came, he asked the sage, did you see a cow running from here? Now the Brahmin is actually thinking, what should I do? As a Brahmin, I should not lie. That is not right. That's against dharma. And then if I say that the cow has gone there, then what will happen? The cow will get killed. I'll get more sin. That is a bigger adharma. So he looked at him and said, my eyes can't see. Yeah. So he did say a lie. Yeah. So now how do you see this? Yeah. So there are higher dharma, there's lower dharma. Yeah. And based on situation, we have to, so we have to understand the laws of karma, and accordingly we can apply, right? That's why he says it is so difficult to understand, and Krishna himself wants to explain. Now what Krishna says, Karmano hyapi bodhavyam cha vikarmanah akarmanascha bodhavyam gehna karmano gatihi. Karmano hyapi bodhavyam cha vikarmanah akarmanascha bodhavyam gehna karmano gatihi. Yeah.
Karmano hyapi bodhavyam
bodhavyam cha vikarmanah akarmanascha bodhavyam gehna karmano gatihi. So gehna karmano gati, it means the intricacies of actions are very, very hard to understand. Gehna karmano gati, very, very difficult to understand the intricacies of karma. Then he says, karmano hyapi bodhavyam. What we need to understand? Therefore, one should properly understand what bodhavyam. Bodhavyam is understand. What we have to properly understand? Karmana. What is karma? Bodhavyam cha vikarmana. We have to understand what is vikarm. Akarmascha bodhavyam and akarm. We have to understand what is akarm, right? So now here Krishna says that, let's read the English one. The intricacies of actions are very hard to understand.
The intricacies of action are very hard to understand.
Therefore, one should know properly
what action is,
what forbidden action is, and what inaction is. Yeah. So now the activities that is performed, yeah, can be divided into three types. One is karma, then is vikarma, and akarma. There are three. And he says, Krishna says, we have to really understand these three types very, very properly, right? Now, what is karma? Karma, normally what we do, any actions we perform, we call it karma. But it is not so. Karma is basically any action that is performed as per prescribed in the scriptures, by the Lord in the scriptures. So all the activities which is prescribed and sanctioned by the Lord is karma. Yeah. And karma is also called pious activity. It's called punya. Punya or pious activity. So when you say karma, basically it should be referred to pious activity or punya. Okay. Karma. Yeah. So all the activities which is sanctioned by the Lord or prescribed by the scriptures are karma. Right. Now what will happen when we perform punya? When we perform punya, the return is also material benefit. When we do any punya, we will get some material benefit in return. Yeah. For example, we give charity to poor. We give charity to poor. Yeah. That is a pious karma. Building a hospital is a pious karma. Now, remember, many people get the piyau done. Yeah, drinking water available for mass, right? So they are charity work. They are pious activity. And when we do such pious activity, what happens? We get material benefit. It means those all are related to body. Those activities are related to body. It means in the next birth or down the line, I will have a much higher material benefits. I may be born in a very wealthy family. I'll be probably more beautiful. I can probably, I can have a lot of wealth and, lot of, what do you call it, luxury. Yeah. All those things that we get. So good birth, good health, material happiness in life, they all happens when we do a pious activity. Understood? Charity to poor, not charity in temples, but charity to people. Remember, there's a difference, right? Charity to people, poor, all these things when we do, the pious act, whatever we say we should do, daan do. Daan kisko do? Daan ka bhi patra hota hai. You can't give daan to everyone. When you give to anyone, then it is not called daan. Daan should always be given to a Brahmin who is into the, what do you call it, into the, who follow the Vedic rituals. That is daan. Daan should be given to that. But when you give a daan to a Brahmin who is not doing that, then it is not daan. It is a charity to a poor. Yeah, we think we are doing daan, but that is not daan. So similarly, it's like that, right? Now, what is vikarma? Next, we go to what is vikarma. Now, vikarma is prohibited activity as per the scriptures. Yeah, whatever violates the scriptural injunction, that is vikarma. So when we say action and we also bad work is also no, it is called vikarma. Vikarma is actions which is not pious, which is pap, which is not pious, which is sinful. All those comes under vikarma. It comes under vikarma, right? And what happens? These are against the principles and rules given by the God. Yeah. And what will happen when normally these activities are performed out of ignorance and results into suffering either in this life or in later life. For example, stealing, killing, drinking liquor, yeah, eating meat. These are sinful activities. When we do that, we have to suffer for it. We have to suffer for it, right? And then what was the result of it? Suffering, poverty, disease, low birth, and ugliness. Yeah. So if you are doing sinful activity, your birth, if you are in Brahmin, you will actually go down to a lower. So we saw that, it is. So this is what is vikarma. Now, karma and vikarma, they both cause the bondage. When we say that we are bound in the cycle of birth and death, it is both. Whether we are doing a pious activity or a sinful activity, both will result into the bondage of birth and death, right? In the bondage of birth and death. For example, let's take a story of a businessman. Now, what he does is, he really works very, very hard. Why? Because even us, we do the same thing. We work very, 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 very hard, right? And with our hard work, we save some money. And then what we do? We go out for some, some trips. So, say we go out to a trip for 1 month for relaxation. And then we spend all our money. And then we come back, again work hard, again accumulate money, again. This is what we all do. Similarly, the businessman, so when we are doing our duty in a proper way, prescribed way, and we are getting in a proper pious way, we are accumulating the credits, pious credits. And when we go and we enjoy and all, slowly our pious credit will become less and we will come down. Similarly, what happens when I talked about Indra, when you gave that example, similarly, someone who is very, very spiritual, and as there are stories in Bhagavatam which talks about, the king is, or the rishis is doing a lot of tapasya and Ashwamedh Yagya and all. So what will happen finally? He, in one of the birth, he can occupy the chair of Indra, or he goes to heaven. But after all his pious activities are finished, he has to return back to this earth. He has to return back to this earth. Similarly, if we are doing a lot of sinful activity, we go down to hell. And after it is finished, we come back again to earth, because exit path comes only from earth, right? Now, so we read about two things till now. We talked about karma and vikarma. Now, what is akarma? Akarma is inaction. Now, inaction doesn't mean, now normally now it's like, many people think that inaction means, when you say inaction, it means I should not do anything. I should go to Himalayas, sit there, do tapasya, and I'm done. That is, yeah. So inaction doesn't mean that. Inaction means you are doing your duty physically. Physically, you are doing your duty. You're not avoiding your work. You are doing your prescribed duty, right? But with detachment. You are not enjoying the fruits of it. It is offered to God. It is not, you are not attached to you're not doing the activity to get the fruits and enjoy that fruits. That path is not the akarma path. Akarma path is I do my duty, and I do my duty with all sincerity to the best of my ability. Whatever results come, I'm not attached to it. Whatever results come, I'm not attached to it. So I will, it is basically, it is offered. It is not for me. It's basically, yeah. Now that is what is akarma, right? So when you Nishkam Karma Yoga, yes, Nishkam Karma Yoga, yeah. So because they are performed with the highest form of Nishkam Karma Yoga is that, yeah, because they are performed without selfish desire. I am not doing this activity. I have done this. I have got this. I'm going to enjoy that. There's no selfish desire. Why it is akarma? Because why you're not getting any reaction of that work? Because there's no selfish desire. You're not thinking of having that money to enjoy for yourself, for your sense gratification. You're not thinking like that. So they do not implicate. That's why it doesn't entangle the performer. Whoever is doing activity like that will not get entangled. Yeah. For example, so it does not have, akarma does not have a material reaction, right? Now, what happened? Results of this, for example, chanting the holy name, now giving charity to the temples, and doing devotional service to the God. So what happens? The result of all this thing, one develops devotion to the Lord, detachment from the worldly affair, attains purity and permanent happiness. Now, let's come to the reality of all of us. Is it possible to do a karma? We all are humans. We all are here. We have family. We have, I'm a father, I'm a son, I'm a daughter. I have so many relations. How can I do? I'm in this material. I have to do my thing. I work. I get money. I get money to give to take care of my family, right? So you can live an akarmic life. How? I'll just give an example. How? So basically, each and every one of us can live an akarmic life. How? First thing, when you go to office, or one person is not only office, you have a lot of relations, right? So do your duty to the most honest way, right? With no expectation. Say I go to office, I work there with as much sincerity I can in the time I'm supposed to. If I'm supposed to give my 8 hours, I give my sincere 8 hours, right? And I get some money. Now, I need that money to take care of my family. I need that money for so many other things. What I do, I give that money to Krishna. I say, Krishna, I did this work. I have got this. It's for you. Take this. This is what I got in this month. Take this. Give me so much for paying my rent. Give me so much for this work. Give me so much, including your enjoyment. The enjoyment should also will be focused towards Krishna. So I need this. So what happens? All your effort has become akarmic. You will not get reactions out of it. But when you are using, you have got the money and you are only enjoying for your self-enjoyment, what has happened? You are actually getting the reactions for it. Now, very simple. What we do? We all eat food. What we do? We work, then we eat. Now, what do we do? Now, see what we like to eat some things. Yeah. So we cook and we enjoy. We forget Krishna. But same thing, whatever you cook, if you are just directly eating it, it is for your sense enjoyment. And when it's for your sense enjoyment, you are actually getting bound by the reactions of it. But whatever you cook, you first offer it to Krishna. Whatever you cook, you first offer it to Krishna. So what happens? It has now become prasad. It has no more. It has now got sanctized. It has got purified. And now when you offer, when you eat, it is no more the food that you have cooked. You are now eating prasad. Yeah. So what we do? We work, we get money. We now know how to use that money to do an akarmic work. We eat. We know what do we do. Whatever we eat, and Krishna says, Patram pushpam phalam toyam. Only vegetarian food. Yeah. So whatever you eat, he will accept that. So you should not so you offer it to him and then eat it, right? What else do we do? So whatever activity you are doing, you can actually spiritualize that activity. Think about that. So life should be, Krishna should be in center, and we should be all doing work. Whatever you do, you are going to wear a new clothes, you have got a new car, first offer it to Krishna. Krishna, I've got this car. This is for you. Help me to do the devotional service. Like, you can use that car for taking the gurus, going to the temple, going to the office, right? Then you have got anything. You have bought a new house. Give it to Krishna. This is your house. Help me to spread the scriptural knowledge to everyone. Yeah. So this way, anything that we have, we can actually make it, spiritualize it and make it akarmic. Clear? Yeah. So these are the three types of activities. So if you think, these are the three things that we do. Yeah. Karma, vikarma and akarma. And by doing like this, whatever action we do, we can actually make it spiritual, akarmic, right?
So akarma is the top one.
Yeah, because akarma may you don't get reaction. If you get reaction, it is like a bank account. It's a bank account. When we do good work, we create pious credits. When we do bad work, we create pap credit, right? Now, you cannot exit if these accounts are not blank. You cannot exit the sansar if these accounts are not 0. Now, if you keep on doing good work, you have to come back to enjoy all those pious credits. If you do sinful works, you have to come back to suffer for the bad work you have done. Yeah. So now what is the way where you can make it 0? So it's only when whatever action I do, I don't get a reaction of it, then only it will become neutral. Yeah. So any action we perform, it has to be, you have to make it neutral. And neutral you can make is only by the akarmic way, offering it, doing it with the best of your ability, with the do the best and leave rest to Krishna. Do your best. Let Krishna decide the final, and whatever he decides is always good for you. Remember that. Yeah. So do the best and leave rest for Krishna. So do that. Whatever you get, don't be attached to the results of it. Yeah. Don't be results. If something happens good, that is Krishna Kripa. If doesn't happen good, it is Krishna's Iksha. Yeah. Because it's my karma. I have to empty those accounts, because unless you empty the account, you can't go. Yeah. Unless so now what happens, if we have done sinful activities in Vedas, Karma Kand, we have prayashchits. We can actually do the prayashchit to reduce the sinful effect of the activity that we have done. But it doesn't get, even if it becomes reduced, your tendency of doing the sin will not go. Your tendency of doing the sin will only go when you have surrendered to Krishna. We'll talk about it later. So now let's talk about, so you're clear? Yeah. Now Karma and akarma, they are not the same. We saw karma is at a bodily platform and akarma is at a platform of soul. It is to the God. Whatever you are doing, they are decided it is to the God. And so it doesn't cause any reactions, and it helps you to break the cycle of birth and death. Now, the karma can be instant and delayed. The reactions of our karma can be instant or delayed. Yeah, I can get the reaction immediately. For example, a thief has stolen something, is running away. He's caught and put in jail. So it's an instant karma, instant reaction he got, right? Yeah. Now, I had gone to hospital, and I got, I actually got the virus, but the fever came 5 days later. That is a delayed karma, delayed reaction, right? Now, it can happen. We know a lot of example in India itself where people have done blunders. They have done a lot of ghapla, where they have stolen a lot of money, and they have, by wrong means, they have actually acquired a lot of wealth. We have a lot of example, but down the line, not immediately. Down the line, what happened? They have got caught, so they are delayed reaction. Yeah, and that they got caught in this lifetime itself. They got caught in this lifetime also. There are karmic seeds which fructify after multiple births. For example, I'll tell you a story about it. Once there was a hunter, yeah, and that hunter, he went to the forest and he killed, and he killed 100 birds, and the birds' parents were watching it. They were alive, and he killed 100 birds. Now, what happened? The same hunter was born with 100 sons, and all those 100 sons got killed in front of him after 50 births. Who was he? Dhritarashtra. So Dhritarashtra, 50 lives earlier, he had killed 100 birds, and after 50 lives, he got 100 sons, and they got killed in front of his eyes, right? But why did it take 50 births for him to get this reaction? Because to get 100 sons, he had to accumulate so much pious activities. To get a son, you have to have a lot of pious activity. So to get 100 sons, he had to actually accumulate so many pious activity, which took him 50 lifetime. And when he got that, in the 50th life, he got 100 sons who got killed in front of him. Yeah, so they are the example of delayed karma. Correct? The question is, can good karma cancel bad karma? No. You have to enjoy for your good karma. You have to suffer for the bad karma. It doesn't cancel unless you have surrendered. You are, so let's go to the next slide, then we'll talk about it. Then you'll say, many times we think, this person is so good. Why bad is happening to this person? Now we can understand that why bad things happen to good people and vice versa. The person was very, very good, but there was some bad things he would have done in some lifetime, which is getting fructified now.
Is that also called adrishta karma?
Adrishta karma, yeah. So it's delayed fructify. Yeah. So it has got. That's why you see, even if that person is so good, but still he is suffering, he or she is suffering, is because of the delayed karma of some path they would have done in some lifetime, right? Now, how can we become free from karma and vikarma? That's what we want. Because if we have to be in this, otherwise we are happily in this wheel of sansar. So how can we do that? So Krishna had told, you follow my footsteps to Arjun. We started in Slok 4:16. What he says, it is very, very complicated. So in the Slok 15, he said, you follow the acharyas. And in 16 say, I will explain to you. And when I explain to you, you will get liberated. Right? So what we did, and what did Krishna said, why is he explaining to Arjun, not to you and me? Because Arjun is a devotee and he has fully surrendered to Krishna. He has fully surrendered to Krishna, and then only Krishna started speaking Gita. Till then he was not saying anything. He was just listening to Arjun. So if you fully surrender to Krishna and live your life in an akarmic way, then we can actually have the path of moving out, right? So following Arjun's path, surrender to Krishna and follow his advice. Whatever we hear in Gita, try to put it in your life. Yeah. So now we go to the next shlok. Karmanya karma yah pashed.
Karmanya karma ya pashyed.
Akarmani cha karmayah.
Karmani cha karmayah.
Sah buddhiman manusyeshu.
Sa buddhiman ya manushyeshu.
Sa yukta krishna karma krit.
Krishna karma krit.
Karmanya akarma yah pashed.
Karmanya karma ya pashyed.
Akarmani cha karmayah.
Akarmani cha karmayah.
Sah buddhiman manusyeshu.
Sa buddhiman manushyeshu.
Sah yukta krishna karma krit.
Sa yukta Krishna karma krit.
Yeah. Prabhu.
Karmanya akarmaya pashed.
Karmanya akarma yah pashed.
Karmani cha karmaya.
Akarmani cha karmayah.
Sabuddhimana manusyeshu.
Sah buddhiman manusyeshu.
Sayukta krishna karma krita.
Sa yukta krishna akarma krit. So it's a bit just try to understand this. Karmanya akarma yah pashyat. Pashya means to see. Pashya means to see. One who sees what? Karma akarma. Actions in inaction. And akarma cha karmaya. And inaction in action. Sa buddhiman manusyeshu. He is an intelligent person. Sa yukta krishna krit. And even though he is engaged, he is the one who is buddhiman, who is intelligent. So let's read the meaning of it. One who sees
One who sees
in action,
inaction in action
and action in inaction
and action in inaction
is intelligent among men.
is intelligent among men,
And
and
he is in the transcendental position,
he is in the transcendental position,
although engaged in all sorts of activities.
although engaged in all sorts of activities.
So again, here Krishna is talking more about akarma. So although one is engaged in all sort of activity, inaction is a karma. You are doing all the action. Someone who understands that although you are doing all the action, but you are not getting the reaction, so it becomes inaction when you are surrendered and all your activities are without attachment and offer to Krishna. It is without attachment. You are not enjoying the you're totally disattached, unattached to the fruits of your activity, right? Then so what is happening? You are in your action, although you are fully engaged, you are doing your duty, but it is an inaction. It becomes inaction. And akarma cha karma. And when you are actually not doing anything, you see all the karmas. For example, someone has gone to Himalayas. I want to spiritually grow. So although I'm leaving all my family, everyone, and now I'm going out and I'm going to become a sannyasi. So what Krishna told them? Krishna told them a pretender. Remember in the previous chapter we learned, because they don't have control of their mind and intelligence. And what they're doing, they are running away from their responsibility, duty. Yeah, they are actually running away from their duty and thinking that you are not, and you are actually going to Himalayas and trying to get God. That doesn't happen. You are actually, what's happening, because your mind is not controlled, your intelligence is not controlled, your mind will start varying here and there. What Arjun wanted to do? Arjun wanted to go to forest. What Arjun wanted to do? He said, Krishna, it's better I become a beggar. I want to go away. I don't want to fight. And what Krishna said, no, you have to do your prescribed duty. You have to do in the right consciousness. If you do that for running away, it can only be temporary, because your actual nature, which is of a Kshatriya, will come up. You are not mature enough to do that, because your actual nature, you will go there, after some time you will start fighting there, because that is what your actual thing is. Yeah, practically. So it is only temporary. You want to go to him, but actually you cannot sustain that. Then you are a pretender. Got it? So Krishna says that someone who can understand, you are doing all the activity fully engaged, but doing all your responsibility the right way, but everything is surrendered to Krishna. You don't care. Neither you are interested in the fruits that you have got it. You don't have any attachment to it. Doesn't matter to you. You don't have any attachment to it. Yeah. So what will happen? You will not get any reactions to the pious activity you have done also. Understood? So that is what it says. One who sees inaction in action,
inaction in action,
and action in inaction
and action in inaction,
is intelligent among men,
is intelligent among men,
and he is in the transcendental position. Transcendental position means he is in the transcendental position. Transcendental position means transcendent means you are above the three modes of material nature. You have transcended the three modes, means you are above ignorance, passion, and goodness. You have achieved you are above the three modes of material nature. You have transcended the three modes of material nature. Even in this life, if you are living like that, Sthit Pragya, absolutely right. Like a Sthit Pragya, you have actually transcended that. So, and he is in the transcendental position. Please repeat. And he is in the transcendental position, although engaged in all sorts of activity. So Krishna never says don't do your duty. You have to do your prescribed duty always to the best of your ability. Yeah. But it's all to Krishna. Yeah. Now we go to the next slok. Yasya sarve samarambha काम संकल्प वर्जिता ज्ञान अग्नि दग्ध कर्माणम तम अहु पंडिताम बुधा यस्य सर्वे समारंभा काम संकल्प वर्जिताः ज्ञान अग्नि दग्ध कर्माणम तम अहु पंडिताम बुधा.
यस्य सर्वे समारंभा
काम संकल्प वर्जिताः ज्ञान अग्नि दग्ध कर्माणम तम अहु पंडितम बुधा. Yeah. So here we'll start with the last part. Tam ahu panditam buddha. Panditam buddha means one is understand to be in full knowledge. Pandita means pandita is knowledge, right? Buddha. Who yes is sarve samarambha. Who is completely, again, it's all extension of akarma. Yeah. Yes is sarve samarambha. He is fully engaged in all activities. Yeah. Kama sankalpa varjita. Although fully involved in all activity, what's having? Kama sankalpa varjita. Kam is the desire. With no desire for sense gratification. With no desire for sense gratification. It is varjit. Varjit means no, it is nothing, right? It is not expecting. Kama sankalpa varjita. Jnana agni dagdha karmanam. Karmanam is reactions of the work. What he has done? Whatever reactions of work, what he has done? By the knowledge, by the jnana. And agni is fire. Fire of what? He has burnt all the reactions of work in the fire of knowledge. Yeah. So although he is fully engaged in doing all the activity, yeah, but because he is with no expectation of the calm or of the desire, with no desire for sense gratification. It's not for me. Whatever I'm doing is not for my sense gratification. Yeah. Kama sankalpa varjita. Then what will happen? What is he doing? Jnana agni dagdha karmanam. Karmanam is the reactions of the work. What is he doing? When he is not desiring any fruit of his result, karmani is the reactions of the work. He is actually getting burnt. How is that getting burnt? In the agni of jnana, in the knowledge. What is the knowledge he has got? He understands what is akarma. He or she understands what is akarma, and they live their life in such a way so that it becomes neutral. Understood? So let's read the meaning of it. One is understood to be in full knowledge, whose every endeavor is devoid of desire for sense gratification. He is said by sages to be a worker for whom the reactions of work
The reactions of verb
have been burned up
have been burned up
by the fire of perfect knowledge.
by the fire of perfect knowledge.
Yeah. So I'll tell you a story again. I'll give you a comparison again. Think about Arjun and Duryodhan. Yeah. Both of them are fighting in the Kurukshetra war. Both of them are killing. Yeah. Both of them are fighting. Both are, fighting. Both are killing. Both are trying to kill as many as possible, and both are trying to win. Yeah. But what is the difference in the consciousness? Duryodhan is doing for his own sense gratification. Duryodhan is doing for his own sense gratification. He wants the Raja. He is a greedy. He wants to take everything. It's for himself. And what Arjun is doing? Arjun is doing for Krishna. Because Krishna has told him, go ahead and do it and do your duty. So he is doing for Krishna. So Arjun's work is akarmic, where Duryodhan's work is sinful. Can you see the difference? Huh? So when you see from the outside, you will not understand what is the, about the activity. You have to go into the consciousness by which the activity is done. The consciousness in which the activity is being done. Yeah. For example, so here this is a very good example where Arjun is also fighting, he's also killing, but his consciousness is to establish dharma. His consciousness is to establish dharma under the guidance of Krishna. So it becomes akarmic, and Duryodhan's becomes karmic, right? So with this, we will close, because from 20th is another.
Become vikarmic, right?
It becomes vikarmic, sinful.
Yes.
It becomes vikarmic. It becomes not karma. It becomes vikarma, right? So with this, we'll close, because from 20th is a different section. I like to take all that together, and it's almost time, 56 now. So let us close this class by chanting Hare Krishna, and we will take question answers here. And I request virtually whoever is watching, I would request you to send the questions so that I can answer. Let us say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.